That was the ending track from the Titans of Industry Sauce album called Jim Carrey's Magical Mushrooms. And we're here tonight to talk to you all about something else along those lines. I would like to introduce my final segment for tonight's program with the Portland Psychedelic Society. We have Jayson and Jordan, right? Jordan?
Yep.
Okay, Jayson and Jordan from the Portland Psychedelic Society are in here to talk to us tonight. Hey guys, how you doing?
Doing good.
Doing really well, thanks.
That's awesome, yeah.
I feel like we're here to talk about exactly that, magic mushrooms.
Yeah.
And all things entheogenic.
And all others, yes, of course. But we have, of course, we are the Portland Psychedelic Society, which is a lot of things to a lot of people. It is community and education. And we consider ourselves one of the follow the others group, or find the others group, which means, you find the other people who are interested in the things that you are, but we don't,
We don't really procure
exactly
for people. We want to make that clear. We do provide a number of monthly meetup groups that people would be interested in hearing about and attending.
Yeah, we do a lot of getting together in person and talking about all sorts of stuff. So, like, for instance, in February, we just have so much stuff that we came to promote. I feel like I should just jump into it and see what catches your interest,
Go
Sean.
for it. Yeah, let it rip.
All right, so we came to promote Saturday, February 1st at Cinnamon 21. There's a movie called Dosed, which is about a young lady who's addicted to heroin or some extreme opiate, and she goes through a journey with iboga and magic mushrooms. And through that therapy, underground therapy, she found a cure for herself.
This movie has been playing all over the country, and it's been playing around the world since early in 2019. And with every movie, there's a panel afterwards because there's so much local interest. Everybody knows somebody who has a problem with opioids or some kind of addiction. And to have this movie play in Portland, we were really excited when we learned about it in November. And we're really super grateful that the Oregon Psilocybin Society and the KBOO signed on as co-sponsors.
Yes, and that advertisement you're hearing for the February 1st showing, that will be with OPS and us. That is sold out. So luckily, you won't be able to attend that one, but luckily they did announce 2 more dates because it sold out so fast.
We got February 16th, which is the first one. That's going to be at 6 o'clock in the evening, and we have February 6th is the first one, which is at 6 p.m., and the second one is February 16th, and that'll be a 3:30 showing. And both of those are going to have panels, and hopefully we're going to have some more local PR on this movie, and we'll just go ahead and help support all that we're doing and all changes that are happening here in our culture.
Right on, yeah, exactly. We have, that's just one example, that's just something we're sponsoring on to get people just out and, seeing something psychedelic related. But moreover, we have support groups. We have, starting this month, we're calling it the Monthly Conversation, where you'll be able to come to Tabor Space in Southeast Belmont, and we're going to have a different topic each month. It'll be led by, a guest each month for about 15 minutes. They'll talk about the topic, and then everybody will be able to chime in with their thoughts and expressions and to reach out for support and questions. Beginner friendly, anything goes. I think that's at the Monthly Conversation at Tabor Space. And counter to that, at the same location, at the same time, but in a separate room,
we have the professionals group. So this is where professionals who are looking to integrate some of these new healing modalities into professional practices are meeting and discussing ideas. So
and a lot of white hat healthcare professionals come because their clients are asking them about psychedelics, and they come to learn more about what their clients' needs are and what their risks are.
And we also have, and then we have support groups for people who aren't in the field. We have a men's support group on Monday the 3rd at Oasis of Change. That's been going on for 5 months. We have an elders support group, which is not on MeetUp yet, but it's scheduled for Thursday the 20th.
We have a women's support group that is on February 19th. We are teaching people to grow mushrooms at home themselves, February 23rd out in Beaverton at the Sage Center. We're looking forward to making that happen like monthly and hopefully more than monthly throughout the rest of the year, having these workshops, hands-on demonstrations of exactly what you need and have to do to get, what you have to do in this town. We're looking forward to so much because, a half hour is nothing. There's so much depth to talk about here. We have these, we're not probably going to get into it too much, but decriminalization and psychedelic therapy coming up on the vote here this year. So we're at all-time momentums for this interest of like people interested in learning about mushrooms, and that's how I was introduced through mushrooms, and a lot of people LSD, but there really are dozens or more common
entheogens. Yeah, and there's this information and studies and research for entheogens and healing with them has been going on for 60 years. We had a 40-year break in this country from 1970 to like 2005. Luckily, there was research going on in other parts of the world, so it's been nonstop around the world. And now the information is there's so many people have received healing in so many different areas of the world that it's not something that's gonna be stopped. And
it's undeniable to anybody who's had the experience.
People want to know about harm reduction methods, and they want to learn how these allies and ancestors can be used in a positive way. And it's one of the things that PPS is here for. We want to be a resource for the community. We want people to know that there's just tons of resources. There's books, there's papers, there's videos. We're going to be producing more content that's going to be on YouTube. We want to have podcasts. We have an annual conference coming up that's not yet being planned, but hopefully with the result of our board meeting elections, we're going to have some really positive news to announce soon. And we just look forward to continuing to be a real necessary part of the community here in Portland.
Yeah, it's so much. It's too hard to pin down exactly what it is we're doing because we're doing so much. But you can find everything that we're doing on MeetUp and keep refreshing it because, we put stuff up sometimes multiple times per week. And we have huge followings on MeetUp and social media in general, where you can find on YouTube, for instance, maybe 50 or 60 of our past groups are recorded on there. Of all types, continuing this list, if you'd like to come out and meet us and other people who are interested in this, again, Tabor Space, Southeast Portland, Saturday, February 15th at 11 a.m. We're inviting everybody to a sack lunch.
It's a psychedelic sack lunch.
And that is our answer to a picnic or a potluck, but indoors. We want to have you there, but we can't make a mess, so bring your meal, but be able to take all your mess with you, and you can come and meet people and say hello and be social with no monthly conversation or topic in general to discuss.
Yeah, and as the weather gets warmer, we're going to have events outdoors. We have book club meetings. We have integration circles. There's a monthly book club meeting, I believe, and this month it is, or in February it will be, A Really Good Day by Ayelet Waldman. And that is at the Hillsdale Library. But I know we have just all kinds of public libraries around town that are hosting these book clubs for us. And they're actually too popular. So we need to start having multiple going at a time, because when we have a book club, 60 people come to sit around and discuss it in an hour or two. And it's just no one has time to really get too focused. So. Yeah, and for now, please go to the MeetUp group website, meetup.org. Find out about all Portland Psychedelic Society events and groups, and we look forward to expanding our reach in other ways, like a website, maybe in the spring. But for now, MeetUp group is the best way to find out about the 5 or 7 different events we have every month. They're ongoing.
Yeah. So that's the Portland Psychedelic Society. And if you guys don't recognize, I have some background music playing. This is the Acid Mother's Temple from Japan. And this song's called Blue Velvet Blues.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that's a Black Velvet. Blue Velvet Blues by Acid Mother's Temple out of Japan. So, yeah.
It's another potential addition to a mixtape called Fluzz.
That's right. You know it. Right here on KBOO FM. And we're here with Jayson, and we're here with Jordan. And how did you guys get involved with the group, Portland Psychedelic Society?
I'll tell you how I got involved, and that was I saw on Facebook events. You know, I like to check out Facebook to see what's going on around town. And there was an event called Microdosing Ayahuasca. And I was just so blown away by the concept of somebody needing something like ayahuasca, what we know to be one of the most insane, life-changing substances you can consume and have an undeniable experience that the other people around you are also happening, and this individual saying, microdose it. So I went, and I just thought, like, if that caught my attention so hard that I showed up in person to an event, like, there needs to be a media person there recording all of these local speakers who come to talk about their very niche, specific experience that they are carrying out. And through that, I just began volunteering, showing up with a phone or a camera and posting up on YouTube, and just knowing, like, because there are so many events happening all the time that I could just, keep going and learn how to do it and eventually build a following, which we have now. On our YouTube specifically, we have maybe 6,000 subscribers.
Yeah, I found out about Portland Psychedelic Society in January of 2018. I attended a meeting at the Bush Street Wellness Center, and there was about 40 people sitting in a circle, and they were talking with each other about the healing that they have received from using entheogens for chronic health issues. And it was I'd never seen anything like it, and I started attending different meetings. I had the honor of presenting a presentation on psilocybin mushrooms at the Paris Theater, and then I did 2 other presentations, one at the Sunnyside Community House and then one at the Clinton Street Theater before I joined the board. And what can I say? The Portland Psychedelic Society is an organization that I always dreamed of joining. My own experience with entheogens goes back to 1983. I love mushrooms. Anybody in town will tell you that, and we want to spread the word about these powerful healing agents of change, and how people can change their lives by using them in ceremonial methods, clinical methods, not so much recreational methods. That's pretty much as it has been. But
what about you, Sean? What brought you to the Portland Psychedelic Society?
I'm just always interested in the twists and turns of how you can develop your mind in a different way. Like lucid dreaming is kind of a psychedelic experience, right?
Yes.
So I'm interested in things like that. Portland psychedelic mushrooms are interesting. The Pacific Northwest, you can strike up a conversation with just about any. In the time that I've been here, you can strike up a conversation with just about anybody about mushrooms. And people just go on at length about mushrooms, and that's one of my favorite things about Portland.
Yeah, I bet. I hear there's a lot of pirate patches around town. I have no idea about them personally, but I just hear that, you could just be walking out in the park and find yourself having a good time.
There's 15 different species of psychedelic mushrooms that appear in the Pacific Northwest in various habitats, like the grassy sand dune complex of the coast, wood chips in riparian areas. This is a wonderful place to learn about mushrooms and how they can heal us.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. Hey, you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I have this little CD playing in the background. It's like Singapore psychedelic rock, but I'm going to play the Portland Psychedelic Society promo. How about that?
Let's hear it.
Woo-hoo. Yeah, let's take a gander. I guess that's for your eyes. Gander with your ears, shall we?
I need some acid for that.
Okay, here we go.
KBOO Community Radio is a proud co-sponsor of the Dosed movie screening on Saturday, February 1st at 3:30 p.m. at Cinema 21 in Portland. Dosed is a documentary about a young lady who uses psychedelic therapy to overcome her addiction to heroin. After the show, there will be a panel discussion featuring members of the cast and production. They will be taking questions from the audience. Again, that's the Dosed movie screening on Saturday, February 1st at 3:30 p.m. at Cinema 21, 616 Northwest 21st Avenue in Portland. More information can be found at KBOO.FM on the right side of the homepage under Community Events.
Hey there, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Appreciate it. Hey, listen, I'm a alcoholic heavy drinker, and just to clue some of your listeners in, I ate psychedelic mushrooms one time, and I stopped drinking for 2 weeks with no withdrawal symptoms whatsoever.
Wow. What was your dose on that, sir?
Mediocre to low, I would say. But I'm going to hang up here. But I'm letting the listeners know that it's almost like a miracle. I can't say it's a drug even. But anyway, I'm going to hang up here.
Thank you very much for your call.
Hey, thank you so much for calling.
I've heard dozens of stories in the last year about how people had mushrooms, psilocybin mushrooms actually saved their lives from all different types of, bad mental health maladies. It's a really powerful ally, and we feel really blessed to be working with them and to have an organization that has the responsible usage and different ways that people can engage with these allies.
That's something we talk about all the time at our meetings, too, is the actual research that's happening about this. Like, yes, there's no shortage of the number of people who we're going to run into who have that man's story of, I was doing this, and it was leading to my own destruction. I took these medicine once, and then all of a sudden, I was able to change my behavior for the better. There's no shortage, but there's actual empirical research being done now that's showing exactly that through the use of psilocybin, they're able to get people to stop smoking in a single dose out of Johns Hopkins.
Yeah, there's a book that came out recently called Your Psilocybin Mushroom Companion by author Michelle Janikian. And there's other books that have come out about usages and practices, but this book that came out on Ulysses Press is one of the most accessible resources I've ever read. We're going to try to bring Michelle here to Portland, hopefully in the fall, to be part of our conference. The book is available at local bookstores, your independent booksellers. Once again, it's called Your Psilocybin Mushroom Companion by Michelle Janikian.
We have somebody else is trying to call the airwaves. We patch somebody else through?
Let's hear them.
Yeah, hold on. Let me forward this song and we'll get that person.
We are 100% about community at the Portland Psychedelic Society. And, I think a big part of why people show up is they just want to be able to talk to people and have their voice heard. So,
yeah.
Call in, everybody. Let's give out the number again if we got it. 503-231-8187. 231-8187.
503-231-8187. Okay, sorry, that caller was probably hanging on a little too long.
Sorry, caller.
Yeah, sorry, caller. You can try to call us back. It's 503-231-8187.
Stay in the medicine.
All right, here we go. Somebody's calling back. Okay, let's go back to that. Hey, you're live on the air.
Hi,
Who are we speaking with?
this is Albert.
Hey, Albert, how's it going?
Good, I've got a lot of loud jazz on my end.
Oh, hold on.
There you go.
Is that what's feeding back there?
That might be, yeah. Let me pause that for a moment.
I think we're good. I think we're good.
Okay.
How you doing tonight, Albert?
Good. KBOO is jamming out on jazz at the moment.
Hold on.
After the great Albert Hoffman?
Well, actually, it's funny you mentioned that. But, thank you.
Excellent. Have you been to our events before?
I haven't, but I've been a member of your Facebook group for a while, and I just posted that you're on the air, and so I'm excited. Hopefully you'll get some more listeners.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you for the push forward.
You're welcome.
To all the people, I mean, we've been promoting our in-person events, but we also have a big Facebook group with like 4,000 people where you can go in and, get the immediacy of Facebook to have an answer or two on just about anything you post on there. And it's also just a good way to keep up with local news articles and memes and beginner questions.
Absolutely. Well, it's fun. I just took your show for a ride by calling in. It's very interesting. I can tell that things are stalled or delayed, and it's been coming out on the air, which you may not realize. There's just this wild jazz for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Can you turn down the radio, sir?
Yeah, we're going a little funky on your end, too. It's coming over fuzzy on this end. I don't know how it sounds going out over the air. And I also want to mention, we got somebody else on the line here, on the other line.
Oh, nice.
They're live on the air as well.
For you.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Yeah, you guys were talking a moment ago about microdosing ayahuasca, and I think that's something that you should really be very careful about advocating for a whole bunch of different reasons. And if you're going to suggest it, then I think I recommend you have a longer discussion than just sort of dropping that out there and even making it a suggestion without having a discussion around it. So please discuss.
One thing we would like to mention is that we do advocate for harm reduction with the usage of entheogens for healing purposes. That said, come to one of our meetup groups. The general meetup group on February 5th at the Tabor Space. That's going to be a good place to find the others who are actually new to this and they want to find out more information, and they can get plugged into all different kinds of resources.
Well, that's all well and good, but right now you're actually on the airwaves talking about that topic, and so people are listening to people like me, and it's nice to send people to an in-person event, and that's good too. But I'll just say I would caution against recommending that protocol for anyone who doesn't know what they're doing.
Absolutely. I don't want to come off as that I'm recommending or suggesting anyone do anything. I was just strictly speaking the name of a talk that had happened.
Okay, cool. That's good to clarify.
Yeah, and I'll even go a step further and give you a spoiler alert. Like, they weren't mixing ayahuasca brew and then doing small amounts of it. They were just using one of the seeds that was involved and then doing that as a microdose and saying, like, you may be able to achieve the same kind of effects. Not to have a long spiritual effect,
right,
but to have some kind of calming effect with harmine or something.
Right.
Cool. Well, thank you for your insight and your knowledge and trailblazing. It's really appreciated.
And thanks for your concern too. It's not without, we do feel that 100%, and we don't want anything we have relay. We're a social community. We aren't doctors.
Yeah, thank you very much for your call and your concern, Albert.
Yeah, thank you. All right.
Have a great night.
Have a good night, Albert.
Yeah, you too. Hey, we have somebody else on the line. Hi, how are you doing? Hello? Okay.
Caller, you're not here.
They hung up. Oh, okay, so, yeah. Here, let's go back to that jazz. Oh, I don't have it on anymore. Anyways, hey, we got about, 5 minutes left in the show. So,
okay. So what do you want to talk about?
What do I want to talk about?
We have the monthly conversation coming up February 5th at Tabor Space. We kind of mentioned that, but this one is going to be about challenging journeys. And the previous caller mentioned, not everybody's having a good time with these. And some people are having challenging journeys is what we're calling them. But we don't think that they're necessarily negative. They're just maybe presenting it in a different way and having an open conversation about it where you're going to be invited and welcome to, speak your mind and say what you feel about these and what maybe has happened to you.
One of the things that's happening nowadays is that there's more information on integration and other harm reduction practices that wasn't available years ago. And for a lot of us old-time psychonauts who started off, we really had very little information other than, I don't know, I read the Psychedelics Encyclopedia when I was 14 years old in 1979. I didn't really have access to scholarly papers or anything else, but thankfully today there's no end of information that people can access on the internet. You don't want to go with the first thing that you read. You want to have some level of discernment when you're looking. You want to talk with people about it. If you have any friends or family members that have had any kind of experiences, they're a valuable resource. We absolutely do not advocate reckless use of entheogens for healing purposes because it can set you back. It can set you back. Fortunately, they're not as harmful as other healing modalities that are currently legal.
Caller, you're on the air?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, who's this?
Oh, my name is LJ.
OJ?
LJ.
LJ, good to
Hey,
hear
LJ.
from you.
Good to hear from you, too. Oh, listen, I'm an old shroom guy from back in the day.
Best kind.
Yeah, Liberty caps were what was hot.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, anyway, the reason for the call is that Big Pharma has billions of dollars tied up in pharmaceuticals.
Yep.
And my fear is that Big Pharma is going to step on you guys like you were because you get in the way.
Yep, we have hear those concerns all the time. We have all different types of legislation going through, and we aren't political advocates. We're just talking about the stuff that's happening in our language now, sir. We're live on the air as
worries.
children listening.
I got it. I hit the delay button, so we're good. No worries about
Okay.
that.
It's all good. We're on our best vocabulary behaviors tonight.
Okay,
so
I'm sorry.
It's all good.
It's all good. We had
My bad.
I don't need to apologize. I was just speaking for myself. I have a real bad mouth, so.
So the Portland Psychedelic Society is an apolitical organization. We can't take any sides. We have to be able to be neutral when we're presenting our information so it doesn't seem like we have an agenda. And yes, people in the organization have their own views and beliefs, but if we keep that out of the general conversations and the content that we talk about, we make it possible for people to be able to access information that's unbiased in a way that they can use it. They can check it against their own stories, their own references, anecdotal information.
The other thing I'd say to you, LJ, is, there's nothing's going to beat the real thing. Like, you can grow a mushroom at almost no cost to yourself at home and have a year or a lifetime supply in one go of it. And when they're manufacturing these, so they're going to try to find the root chemical that makes it happen, but it's
Right.
What's found is it's an entourage effect. It actually is the whole plant that is could be associated with it. So the fact that the big pharma would want to do it, they can't keep the cure away from the people because it's so simple. Is my
Yeah. I totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah, but they might try. They do have their ways. Let's But one thing I read today is drugs won the war on drugs.
Not meaning to get political, but they do own the politicians. So
Yeah, they do. All right, LJ. Well, we got to end the show.
Yeah, it's about 8:00. Thank you, everybody who's called in.
Thank you all.
There's people who are still trying to call in. Sorry, I didn't get to everybody's calls tonight. Check out the Portland Psychedelic Society.
Come find us on social media. Maybe we'll do an after questions.
Yeah, thank
Don't
you.
eat any mushroom or plant you can't safely identify as an edible species.
Yeah, and again, you're listening to KBOO Portland 90.7 FM. Thank you all for all the calls. Go check out the Portland Psychedelic Society. Thank you to the Titans of Industry and to Grong House for tuning in. Right now it's 1212 KBOO Portland 90.7 FM.
Righteous.
Woohoo!
Made it through that one.
All right.
Yeah, that was pretty.